don't think we've talked about the beings coming in slowly yet. So how they come in caricature first before they come in true to life. So we'll go into that a little bit. And yeah, I don't think we've gone into some of my discovery, and the discovery is a work in progress, mind you, but of the different ways that calls can come in over the crystal. Let's go ahead and start there. So everybody knows Isa. Let's see if I can show you her close up, nice and straight. Isa again is a very mildly citrine quartz crystal. The characteristics that she has that makes her ideal for this work are the teardrop shape, 1, 2, sharp edges, not rounded edges, sharp edges. She has extreme clarity through some areas, and then cloudiness in others. A combination of the two is very helpful. As is, she has a large range, I mean, it's just a huge, like this big, silver dollar sized rainbow cluster right in her center. And again, that provides a lot of the color in the frames that you see. So together, all of those characteristics, I feel, are what are important to me being able to do what it is I do, and getting the video or photo, I should say, evidence of the beings who are calling, transmitting through the crystal. I was recently in Los Angeles. I took a little trip up there and visited some crystal shops just because I wanted to stop and see. I wanted to test some of my hypotheses with some other crystals. I discovered not only is it really hard to find teardrop shaped crystals right now, but Isa really is unique. I could find no other crystal like her, like literally no other crystal even close to like her. Yeah, and I tried to sit down with them to take my camera in, and yeah, it was very, very different. I think that all of the characteristics that she has that I just said are really critical to doing this work. And so that'll take us into the different types of calls. When I hold this crystal can see me. This crystal can access all of the information that's within me. This crystal can access all the information attempting to connect with me. And it's how the work can be done through the crystal. But one thing that can happen when I hold her is that some of my information, some of my stories can literally embed in here. Not only can my personal stories of my Casey person embed in here, again, beings that are connected with me and connecting to me while we're doing this work can further be embedded into this crystal, sort of like a voice message that's left for you that you later come back and get. And so a lot of times I'm going into the crystal, I'm going in and I'm gathering up my messages, as it were, my pre-recorded messages. That's fascinating, right? The history of the crystal itself also is in there, as well as, goodness, likely anybody who's ever held her, picked her up, all of that can be found within the crystal. But I think mostly what she holds is her own history. It's my working belief or hypothesis at this point that at some point someone embedded some information in here for me to retrieve prior to me actually receiving the crystal in real life, in real time. That's fascinating also. But mostly it's what my own higher fractal consciousness is pushing through to me, through to the crystal, embedding in the crystal, recording in the crystal, for me to pick up the crystal and photograph, to show you, at later dates. And then the other type of call that can come in is a live call. The phone is ringing, you're picking it up. Someone live is on the other end. It's happening in real time. It's not pre-recorded. And this happens in only one way that I've garnered so far. I can't say that, maybe in a couple, but the biggest way that it comes through is with the sun. So if I pick this up and sit where the rays of the sun can actually hit or strike the crystal, then senders on the other end of that ray can beam in a live call. And these are fascinating. When this happens, the being that I'm seeing in here is not only coming right in, they're clear as day. I don't have to go looking around or, asking any questions. They're just right there, large as life, real as can be. The one thing about this type of call, though, is it doesn't seem to embed real well when I go to take pictures. So again, exploration and inquiry into all of that is always going on, but that's sort of my observation at this point. There's the two types of calls. The story in the stone, the record in the rocks. These are not in real time. Again, they're left for me. And then there's the live calls, live transmissions. The phone is ringing, someone's right there. This is happening, this call is happening in real time. And again, these ones are harder to capture in the photographs. One day I'm going to have to look more into that. There's a few crystals I work with, and they work together in a group. I don't think I've ever shown you. So I have the crystals here to show you. You just saw Isa, and this is George. I love George. George is my healer. Extraordinary crystal, extraordinary healer. I won't go into some of the things that he helps me with, but it's almost immediate where other people might go for an ibuprofen or a Tylenol for pain relief. George is mine. And he just works immaculately in almost real time. So he sleeps with me at all times. Isa doesn't sleep with me. She's set off into an area for herself. I noticed that my dreaming is very different if Isa sleeps with me. So the next three crystals I'm going to show you are the ones who actually sleep with me. So that was George. He's my healer. And then this is Rael. There's a masculine and a feminine aspect. Rael is the masculine, Rael is the feminine, and she is a trance channeler, a citrine quartz trance channeler, and sold to me at the time as a Lemurian. I don't know how much I know or think or believe about all of that, but it's how she came to me. And yeah, when it comes to channeling, dream recall, embedding dream messages into my conscious state of attention, that's what Rael helps me with. And then Atan, not Aten, Atan, a very different being. You see him as all on through the crystal. She's just a Celicite geode. Let's see if I can figure out which way to have her go. And she's extraordinary. So Atan is the entity that connects with me through this crystal. Rael is the entity that connects through the trance channeler, and George. It's funny, George is who connects with me through my healer. And I've seen George. I've actually photographed him from this crystal, and yeah, he looks like an Egyptian black male. Yeah. But he comes through to me as George. So those are the crystals that I work most closely with for the dream work, dream awareness work. lucid dreaming, out-of-body experience, ET contact work. And now that we're talking about the ETs, let's go ahead and talk about how the beings, when they start coming through to us, come through gradually. It's a slow process. It's a gradual process. It's a by your permission process. It's as you are ready, as your central nervous system is ready, as this will only be of benefit to you. And this works a lot like the OBEs. Some of you have listened since the beginning know this, but others of you won't. When I go out of body, I'm one of those people who can just stay conscious through the entire shift, walking to the bed or area where I'm going to lay myself down, laying myself down, closing my eyes, and staying conscious through the entire shift inward through the process of literally flipping my fields inside out to where I am an awareness field, and inside I'm this person rather than the other way around, which is how it seems more when we're in physical space. So this is just how I shift from physical space out into the wider reality. And as I'm doing this, there's a lot of visual phenomena that takes place. And a part of that is, while I'm still quite some distance, scenes appearing in that distance that look like cartoons. But then you get closer and they begin to look a bit more caricature, half cartoon, half real. And then you get wholly there and they just look wholly real, just like our everyday reality does. So this phenomena I noticed first through the OBE, but I notice also through the crystal. When the beings are coming through, they are coming through in caricature formations first. This is for a few different reasons. One is for potential children's books down the road, and another is because they come in with our permission. So these are positive oriented beings. We already know that. And the ones that are more type 2 are also asking permission, are also associated with my template, are also being lifted and advanced and graduated through this whole process. And so they come through in caricature first. They don't want to scare us. And then again, as we give permission, as our central nervous systems are ready, they come in more closer and true to life. And that's going to be the key feature of this video. I'm going to show you a slideshow of maybe 50 of the beings that have come through the most real to life, so that you can see a series of them all in a row. Again, these things impact the awareness. They let us know a few things. One of those things is that this is real. And so sometimes they come in real to life looking just like us. These are humans, if not Earth humans, still human and looking just like us. And then others will be humanoid, but appearing very differently, as you've seen before in the past, and then some wholly different. The stream of the beings coming through is coming through faster than ever, now. Anytime I sit with the crystal, 12 to 20 beings are going to come through. I don't make all of these into portraits, but a collection of them I do. And that sort of leads us maybe into one more thing we'll add in this video, and that is how I am making the portraits now. So I'm taking original frames that have the being in it, but also a whole lot else, and I'm isolating the being. I'm centering them in the frame. I'm mirroring one side to the other to face them forward for you so that you can meet them eye to eye, so that you can take your gaze into their gaze and use these frames for contact. I didn't go into very much depth on any of these topics, so if anybody has any questions or want to dive in any deeper to anything I just said, you can write me at any time through the contact on the website or in the comments. If this is posted, it will be posted on YouTube or anywhere else that it happens to be posted. Just ask the questions and I'm happy to dive in deeper. Remember, you can see the beings at any time over on the Patreon. Again, we are an unconditional platform. Nothing is behind a paywall. Everything is out in the open and available for everyone to view. I post there 2 or 3 times a week, at least 2 with the beings, so you can see a steady stream of them that come through there. They also have an interesting new section there where I can section everything apart. So if you're only interested in the beings, you can, it's called collections, and you can just go there and scroll through them. Anyone who wants to support the Patreon and the continuation of the work can and is more than welcome, but it is not now and never will be required. Really, we just want you to have the contact and to enjoy the beings coming through to our human consensus.